Welcome to this week, which quite a week it's been already. In fact, it's been roughly just over 24 hours since the Derek Chauvin verdict came down. And naturally, in the last 24 hours, I've had a few people ask me the question, so what do you think? And it's made me think. It's made me wonder. It's made me wrestle. It's made me struggle through it. I live in the state of Minnesota, not too far from where all of this went down. And so naturally, over the last couple of weeks, this has been top of mind and front of news and all those things. And so what do I think? Well, it's posed a question for me. And the question that I have to ask is this what we want? Is this what we want? And that's based off of this thought around two words. And those two words is postmodernism. Postmodernism. Well, what's postmodernism? Postmodernism is a lengthy definition that simplified means that we are living in a time where we are trying to eradicate these grand narratives that exist in our world today. That we're fighting against the fact that there is absolute truth and that there's one thing that defines each and every one of us that we must live by. That's what a postmodern world is doing, is it's fighting against these meta-narratives, these grand narratives, and saying, no, it's not about the meta-narrative, it's about the individual narrative. It's about the physical nature of who I am and the ability that I have to define my truth. Well, I would argue that we're not really in a postmodern world anymore. We're in a postmodern world, or a postmodern world. And why would I say that? Because I think what you're seeing is as the grand narratives have been fought against, as the meta-narratives are disappearing, rather than there being a lack of them, they're being replaced. That new ones are coming to exist. And one in particular that we're seeing happen in this situation is this one. There is no God because I am God. See, one of the meta-narratives that's been fought against is the fact that there is an absolute truth and a moral definition that sits within this understanding of God. In fact, historically, as a country, we held to the fact that the God of the Bible was the truth and the meta-narrative that we lived by. In fact, God is written on our money, it's in our Constitution, His name is all over the place, and it was very specifically the God of the Bible. And so in a postmodern world, the meta-narrative that was fought against specifically was that there is a God. Well, there can't just be a world without a God because somebody at the end of the day rules. And so if there is no God, then I am God. Which brings us back then to the question, what do you think about this? And then my question in return, is this what we want? Do we want situations like this where we have to ask the question, am I God? It was hard over the last couple of weeks as the trial happened to rewatch the video with Derek's knee on George Floyd's neck because you couldn't help but look at that face wondering, did he think he was God? And then the things that happened after that, and the protesters and the activists, were they trying to be God? And the jurors who had the life of this man in their hands, did they understand that they could be God? And the judge that has to bring a decision and act as if he is God. Because there was one man who put his knee on another man's neck and for all intents and purposes said, I am God. Because of the lack of a meta-narrative, when there is no God, then the void has to be filled, and the void is being filled by us saying, I am God. Is this what we want? I have to tell you, it's not what I want. Not what I want at all. Because I know that I am not God. And I know that if I gathered all of the best people that I know and we all came together, that communally, we are not God either. So who is God? And that's where we're at right now. And that's what this situation has posed for us to answer the question, who is God? Is that what we want? Well, we're in it. We now have to deal with it. And here's what I propose. I propose the fact that we go back, that we understand that there is a God, and we buy into the meta-narrative that that God is not us. and that God loves each and every one of us. And all of us are made in his image, and he desires a relationship with us and then asks us to live a certain way. And then he tells us that he's done it, that he is the one. In Revelation, it says, "It is finished. It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And he who is victorious, I will be their God, and they will be my people." That's what I want. I don't think this is what we want. But as we continue to walk down this road, we're going to have to play the role of God, and it's going to get heavier and harder and more difficult. The easy answer is submit to the one true living God. And so that's my challenge to you. How do you feel about this? Is this what you want? And maybe you're wrestling with it going, no, it's not. Well, then let's submit to the God who has it all figured out, who's asked us then to live a certain way, to respect each other, to love each other, to care for each other, because we're all made in his image. And that transcends whether I believe in God or not. Each person is made in his image. Belief then says, I do something about it. And that's where we care and love and show the world who God is through our actions. So when they see us, they see him through us. That's what I want. And hopefully that's what you want. So what do? We have to live it out. Submit, love, and show the world who he is. Let's make it happen. Have a great week. See you next week.